listeners. Welcome to another episode of Romance Unraveled. This is one of your co-hosts, Jacob Bozen.
This is your other co-host, Zachary Tuberville.
So today we have a special guest. Of course, all of our guests are special. It's my roommate. Her name is Christiana Nelson, and we've lived together probably, I think we're going on 2 years now. And we met in grad school and have been pretty close friends since then. So she, like the rest of us, has a pretty crazy dating life or dating past experience. And one of the stories that she was telling me kind of caught my attention, and I asked her to come on and tell her story. Um, so essentially, it's about her at the Reagan National Airport, which is my favorite airport, by the way. I know that she hates it, and you'll see why after she tells you her story. But Christiana, let's have you introduce yourself.
Hi. Yeah, Jacob said, I'm Christiana. I'm his roommate. We have been friends for about 2 years now. Actually, I think we've been friends for 3 years, but lived together for two. And then me and Zach have known each other for what, a year now, I think.
Yeah, we're going on almost a year. So,
Yeah, so I guess let's just have you start telling the story.
Okay, yeah. So I guess to start with some context, this happened when I was, I believe, a sophomore in college. So this was 6 or 7 years ago now. Um, to provide, yeah, background for why I was in DC, I went to college in Minnesota, and this was right around the time that I was trying to study abroad. This was also right around the time of the government shutdown during Trump's first um, election, so or during his first presidency. So right around that time, I had to go to the consulate in DC to get my Russian passport because I'm a dual citizen. So I was supposed to fly out to DC, go to the consulate, and then fly home. It was going to be a very quick turnaround. This was also going to be my very first like solo travel experience. And I know that sounds silly because I've done so much traveling since, but back in that time, it was really stressful for me. It was my first experience where I had to kind of figure everything out myself. So um, I was acting kind of irrationally, which you'll see why when I get into the story a little bit. But
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
I'm gonna I have to cut in a little bit here and give them some context. So the thing
yeah,
about Christiana is she will show up to the airport at probably 5 hours before the flight because it stresses her out. And I'm the exact opposite. I like to be the last person on the plane. Like I
definitely
can't
not.
stand waiting. So it's kind of funny the dynamic that's a little bit different, but yeah, I considering what the story is going to be, I can only imagine that it added to your stress.
Yes.
also, I just have to add that no matter what people think, I personally love DCA because it's so close to my house. And, working for the airline, it's just so nice to drive to work and be there in 20 minutes to the gate from the house. So, you can't be making people hate it. But yes, I'm here the story that I have no idea what it's about.
I will say, in my lifetime now, I probably wouldn't show up to the airport as early as I did in this story. Again, it makes sense that it was my very first solo travel experience. I have learned since then. Um, but yeah, so just to like jump into it, the entire trip was absolutely insane. Um, I had had a really random, very awful one night stand here in DC, um, which provides just extra layers of funny and hilariousness to the whole situation. Um, but yeah, so I had checked out of my hotel at around midnight, right after this really awful one night stand. And then I got an Uber to the airport, and it was maybe 1 a.m. And my flight was supposed to take off at like 5 a.m. or like 5:30 ish. So I would say that's even early for me now, but back then I was worried about Ubers and I didn't know the area. So decided to just get to the airport and hang out there for the night and then just fly back whenever my flight took off. So I got through security. I was sitting at DCA and I like got my spot. I set up my phone, everything. I was all good to go. And this random man approaches me and he sits down. I genuinely do not remember his name,
What should we
but
call him? Let's make up a name.
ooh, what's a funny name for him?
Harry. You can call him Harry.
Okay, Harry. Perfect. So this random man, Harry, decides to sit next to me. To give you guys context of what he looks like, or like just to provide some extra information about him, he was wearing, I believe, like a BDSM shirt. He had like chains on his like pants and he was wearing flip-flops even though it was February. It was a very insane look and I'm not here to judge anybody, but probably not the type of person a 21-year-old girl would want to be approached by in the airport.
How old do you think he was?
He must have been like 35.
Okay.
He
That's
was
not
significantly older than me. I don't even think I was 21 at the time. I might have been like 20, maybe had just turned 20 if I was a sophomore. So he was significantly older than me. He was also carrying a guitar. Um, this will come into play later, but to give you context of what I was wearing my college sorority letters. So for anyone not familiar with a sorority or Greek life, your letters are the symbols or letters of your sorority. So the sorority that I was in was Tri Sigma. Again, this will come into play. So he sits down next to me and he starts like asking me about myself, my flight, where am I going? And I, am keep it pretty cordial. I say, hi, I'm Christiana, I'm traveling back home to Minnesota. And then I ask him where he's going to, just to be polite and make conversation. And he tells me that he's going to Tennessee, which is, fantastic for him, whatever. I didn't really think much of it. And then he is like, can I sit next to you? Can I like charge my phone here as well? And I just go, yep, yeah, you can. You have every right to do that. I was definitely trying to like give the vibe that I did not want him to linger or hang around, but he clearly did not pick up on that. Um, so he, sits down and he's making conversation, and it's a very one-sided conversation. He's very much just telling me about his life, and I'm just kind of nodding along. Yeah, cool. Giving him like very one-off responses. And I ask him about what he's doing, like what he does for his job. And he, again, as a 35-year-old man, goes, oh, I'm a cover band artist and I play at sorority functions.
Oh, how perfect for you.
Right. As I'm wearing my letters, he can clearly see I'm a sorority girl. Um, and I go, oh, like you play at Greek functions, like Greek life functions? And he goes, no, sorority functions. So clearly he won't play for frats, just the girls, specifically the very young, newly, 18, 19-year-old girls.
He was probably in the closet.
It was bizarre. um, and so I'm, immediately put my sweatshirt on. Hopefully he didn't notice that I was wearing my letters, although I'm sure he did. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, great for you. And he just goes on and on about these sorority girl functions. And he's like, yeah, they're so nice. It's so good. It's almost like having groupies. Oh, great. great. I love hearing that when I'm alone in this airport with you. And he's telling me about like, yeah, like it's so easy because they get super drunk and then they hook up with you. And again, like just trying to be polite because I have no idea what this guy is about to do or is capable of, or if he's going to get creepy. And the airport was pretty much dead at this point. It was like 1 to 2 in the morning. So there wasn't a ton of other people around, like it was pretty much just me and him. And then he, continues on with our conversation. He shifts subjects and he starts talking about like his personal life and his relationships. And he asks me if I'm single, and I lie, as any woman probably knows to do. If a strange man approaches you and asks you if you're single, you say no, you say you have a boyfriend. So I told him I had a boyfriend, and he goes, "Oh, but he's not traveling with you?" And I'm like, "Well, no, my boyfriend doesn't need to go everywhere I go." And he's like, "Oh, if I was with you, I would never let you out of my sight."
Oh goodness.
It was, oh gosh. I was like, "Well, it's a good thing I'm not with you then." Um, and then he starts telling me about how he had a girlfriend, but they broke up. And I was like, "Oh, why did you guys break up?" And he goes, "Well, she framed me and got me sent to jail."
Did he say about what?
Oh, he did. I will tell you the whole story. I got every single detail. So he and this girl were dating for, I believe, like it was a significant amount of time. I don't remember the exact amount, but for the, specific part of this story, we can say like 4 to 5 years. It was a really significant period of time. And they actually ended up having a child together, which we will get into. Um, so Harry starts telling me all about his child and how, he was with this girl and he thought he was the love of his life. But she ended up framing him and got him sent to jail. And so when I asked him, like, what did she frame you for? He basically told me about how he was framed for theft because so what happened was the girlfriend, him, and one of their other male friends all went up to Harry's lake house. This was up in, wherever they lived. I don't actually know where he was from, but wherever they lived, they went up to his lake house. It was the three, two boys, and then the girl, the woman. And they ended up bringing a bunch of drugs and alcohol up to this lake house. And they all were doing drugs and alcohol and mixing. And Harry ended up getting very, very, very wasted and high on a concoction of different drugs, alcohol, whatever. And he ends up passing out. And this woman, we can call her like Lisa, and then this other man, let's call him Timmy. So Lisa and Timmy end up sneaking out of the lake house while Harry is completely passed out. And they end up, hooking up with one another, cheating on Harry, and stole the neighbor's boat and took it out on the lake or the river or the ocean, wherever they're from. And so all of this is happening while Harry is passed out, but it's Harry's lake house. So the neighbor finds out that they took the boat because they ended up crashing said boat into, wherever, either a tree or a rock or the side of the lake. I'm not sure. But they destroy this boat and they frame Harry for it and end up saying that he's the one that took it out and that he was drinking and, he can't remember taking it out because he was high and, intoxicated. And the way he framed the story was that it was 2 against 1. And so therefore he lost the argument or the case or whatever this may be. Do I believe this? I don't even know. But yeah, that was the story from his perspective. And so he got sent to jail for however long, it could have been however long a theft case like this would be considered, you know, appropriate. Um,
So
oh, go ahead.
I'm sitting here trying to like take it all in, but I'm wondering, I'm like, why in the hell would he, if he has any interest in you at all, which I'm assuming he did,
Right,
why would he even say this to you?
right.
Like this is absolutely bizarre. Like I don't understand why he would even tell you that story, that he's even been to jail.
Oh, it gets so much worse. Um, so anyway, I'm asking him, let me tell you, I'm asking him all of these questions and I'm asking about how his experience in jail goes. And um, he tells me that he got passed around, quote unquote, the jail. And I think he was trying to make me feel bad for him or like coddle him. I'm not sure. But he told me how he got passed around and he had to fight people off of him because they kept trying to come at him. And eventually he was able to get out of jail. And that's why he is fighting this woman, Lisa, for his son that they had together. And so he just goes on an entire rampage against this woman, because she took his son from him because he was in jail. Which, I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not going to touch that. But I ask him questions about like his son. I ask him how old he is. And he told me that he was very young. So he would have been, I think, 3 or 4. And he goes, "Oh, can I show you pictures?" And I go, "Sure." And then he looks down at his phone. He goes, "Oh, my phone's dead. Can I log on to my Facebook from your phone?"
Oh goodness.
Um, which, again, I was young, I was dumb, I had also pulled an all-nighter. So I would never do this now, but I go, "Sure, yeah, log on to your Facebook." I hand him my phone. I give him my Facebook. He logs in, he shows me pictures. It's a very cute kid. The kid, seems very happy, but I don't know the situation, so I'm not gonna, judge that. But anyway, what I didn't realize at the time is that he friended me from his Facebook. So like he sent himself a friend request from my Facebook. So like I wouldn't have noticed it because, you know, typically you would know who you send Facebook friend requests to, and who you wouldn't. So anyway, he like added me very sneakily, and I didn't even realize it until I had already flown home and I started seeing all of these like very pro BDSM posts pop up
Oh
on my face.
my God.
It was like the most inappropriate, like, I want to tie her up, or like when she, like calls you master, things like that. And they all started popping up on my Facebook, and I was like, what the heck what forum did I accidentally like? Like, what did I do to get myself into this? But I realized that it was all coming from his like account or like his page, and he was reposting all of this stuff. And because I was one of his followers and friends, it was showing up on my feed. So once I found out, I very quickly unadded him. I blocked him, whatever. So I never had to deal with that again. But that was a very funny, sneaky, thing that he did there. And then after this whole thing, like I got really freaked out when he was telling me about like the jail thing, whatever. Um, and so I think he could read on my face that I was not impressed. So he's like, "Oh, are you hungry?" And I'm like, "No, I ate before I came to the airport. I'm not super hungry, whatever." And he just reaches for his like guitar case. He opens the case and he pulls out one of those 3.5 pound bags of sour gummy, like Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, I hate
Um,
those. Those are so gross.
oh, it was so bad. So bad. And then he also pulls out about 10 bottles of the like mini like fireball shots and like the vodka shots and like tequila shots, about 10 of those individual little bottles. And he's like, "Do you want some?" So he was expecting me to drink with him at an airport. And I don't believe you can just bring that stuff in. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it felt very like snuck into this airport. I don't think I should have this. I certainly don't want to be drinking with some random man at 3 a.m. in an airport. Um, so I was able to like dodge that. But the fact that he offered that to me was insane. Um, and then finally, like thing that we keep chatting, he's doing most of the talking at this point. Um, we keep chatting, and then eventually it comes time for me to start lining up for my gate and to like enter into, or to load, I guess I should say, to load the flight. And so he's like, "Oh, do you want to get breakfast beforehand?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go get breakfast." And he's like, "Great, I would love to like sing to you before breakfast." And he points down to his guitar and he's like, "Can I sing to you? The Ariana Grande song, Break Up with Your Boyfriend, or like Break Up with Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored, that song."
Oh my hell.
He offers to sing me that and to quote unquote serenade me. So I go, "Let's go to breakfast first, and then you can sing to me." And so he's like, "Okay." And so he picks up his guitar and he's like, "Let's go over there." And he like points to the opposite direction. And I'm like, "Yeah, lead the way." And so we get like halfway down the like big long, hall, I guess. And I'm like, "Okay, I will meet you there. I think I just have to like make sure I have all my stuff." And so he keeps walking, and as soon as he keeps going, I book it back. I just run away as quickly as possible. And I think I hide behind a couple like people, and I hide behind one of the big signs, and I just make sure he cannot see me, and then I just get on my flight and the rest is history.
Oh
But
my
ever since
God. So
then,
he,
I
he
will not fly DCA.
and it's so sad because it's the easiest airport in the world.
I have such a vendetta against that airport now. And this is actually not the first time I have had a man approach me in this kind of way at DCA. And I will not fly DCA.
Uh,
I am
Zach,
cursed.
Zach, what is your take on this story?
Oh, I think that's great. The airport, it takes 5 minutes to get through and 5 minutes to get off, you know? That's my take on it. You should have let him serenade you. Bought you breakfast and everything. He might have even taken you to the restroom. I don't know at this point.
Oh, I did. I forgot to mention, at some point for within, our entire, 5 hour long conversation, he like very aggressively tries to pressure me into switching my flight to go back home and instead come to Tennessee with him.
You didn't go to Tennessee to hear Ariana Grande sing by him?
I
I'm
can't say I did.
Well, that is just sad. I was hoping the story was like, yes, I got on the flight and now we're in love and we're getting married next month.
I think I would rather marry literally anybody else.
Oh, well, I'm single, so I mean, if I'm ready to mingle, you know where to hit me up.
Send
Noted.
him Zach's way.
I will. I
Totally
wish
fun.
I had him still. Maybe he'll listen to this.
Hey, you know what? You should go through your block list and see if you can find him and we can serenade him, all three of us.
We can put him on the call with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe he could like respond, explain why he
Honestly,
said that.
I mean, if he's wanting you to leave his boyfriend, you should sing You Should Leave Your Girlfriend.
Do you have anything else more to add? Christiana, or is that
Um, I mean, that's pretty much all that story, but I could go into the second time I've been approached if you would like.
we can save that for another story, I think. That's what
Okay.
we should do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Then no, that's pretty much it.
Zach, do you want to close it out for real this time?
I want you to do it because you
Oh.
already know. I'm gonna say something and you're gonna be like so mad at me.
Do I get mad at you?
Uh, no, you can't because I'll leave your ass stranded in like Cancun or something. I'll cut your flights off.
That
Yeah,
would be something.
keep on down there. Get down there
I
and be
could
like,
actually see you doing that.
oh, I would too. No, I would never do that to Jacob.
Oh goodness. Okay, well, I my body is just like in a cringe after listening to that story. Like it's crazy. Like
I'm
I
gonna.
can't like I can't even imagine. Like I don't really think I've ever had anyone approach me in an airport because I usually don't hang out. I'm usually just straight to the gate and onto the plane because that's how I like to do it. Yeah, I don't know. But I love DCA. I will always go to DCA. But yeah, it was great having you on. Thanks for telling the story. I'm sure the listeners enjoyed it as well.
Sure.
And
Thanks
to
for
our
having me.
listeners, yeah. To the listeners, make sure to subscribe and follow us on our social media accounts. Until next time.